Under then President Joe Biden, the department dropped its support for the claim that Trump was acting under the scope of his job as president. The Justice Department now again under Trump is attempting to renew these claims as the president's appeals last no the Justice Department now again under Trump is attempting to renew these claims as the president appeals last year's jury decision. So that's going on.
Can't really comment on that because it's a active appeal and need to see all the evidence.
Now, when it comes to this, it does seem kind of like redundant. You know what I mean? I think it is politically motivated, like Mr. Robot says, and this is. I mean, it's like they're coming at them with everything but the kitchen sink, and I'm surprised this is still going because all of this other politically motivated crap got dropped, like all that stuff in Georgia, gone. You know. The only reason why I voted for Donald Trump was for
Georgia.
Here's some more evidence. 220 lawsuits in 100 days. Trump administration faces unprecedented legal blitz. And I remember seeing...
that's not evidence.
Well, it's evidence of political persecution. And I saw a video. I can't remember the guy's name, otherwise I bring it up. But it's this Jewish guy. He's a prominent dude in the US. I can't remember if he's a senator or something like that. But anyway, he before Trump got elected, he was bragging on TV that he already had 100 lawsuits planned against Trump, and it was going to be a way to like throw a spanner in the works or like, you know, take him out or, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So there were people coming after him for sure.
But if these lawsuits are not can be proven not to be or to be innocent, or Trump being innocent on these lawsuits, then big deal.
Well, yeah, the thing is, it's, you know, occupies time and resources.
Again, it's just entertainment. As I keep remind people to use the UK British expression, today's news is most chip paper.
This is the foolish thinking of today's freaking generation, okay? People think that it is entertainment. I mean, like I said, to sue and to be sued is a constitutional right here in the United States. Well, you're you're seeing government taking place, okay? You don't have to agree with these people. You don't have to disagree with these people, but you have to admit at least freaking constitutional government is being played out. You know what I mean?
But it's also a vulnerability, Roger.
No,
because if it's meant to be done in good faith. When people abuse the system and sue people for no reason just to like...
everybody has the right to do it. It doesn't... And you know, this ethical bullshit, let's take that and fucking just throw it out the window, dude. Oh, I've got to be ethical.
I'm not saying ethical. I'm just saying when people abuse the system for things that it's not intended for, that can turn into like a vulnerability or a method to suppress people or to do something not good.
I get what you're saying, Mr. Robert, and I do agree with you partially. But I also agree with Roger. It is demonstrating that the system is functioning.
Okay.
Flawed.
No, not flawed.
It's functioning.
Here's an example.
It is functioning.
Okay.
No, but here's the thing, right? So Trump has made a mandate that transgender people should be banned from the military. Now they're suing him for that, so that stays in place, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that you could argue that is a vulnerability for national defense now, because they've put a whole bunch of, people that aren't like 100% mentally capable or like at least emotionally potentially unstable in the military.
Right.
Okay, and the other thing was he wanted to he wanted to make the
Whoa,
government.
whoa, 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 whoa! Be very careful there, because you're on
Well,
dangerous grounds there.
first of all, thinking that when you're a man, thinking you're a woman, that is on its face like a mental condition already. My point is, besides all that, the Trump was elected by the people to do the things he said he was going to do, and that was one of them. And the other one was to make the government more efficient. Now these people are coming after him in the courts to try and stop that from happening. So they're literally working against the will of the people through lawfare. And I'm just saying that that is a vulnerability in the system.
Now, see,
And that's not what it was intended for. Here it says,
let me kind of step in here. Hold up. Before we go farther on that, let me kind of explain to you something about the process, okay? Now, you say that it's a vulnerability and all this, but that's not the end of the story.
Mr. Roberts is politically framing this.
They go to the court system and they speak their mind to the court system. Now that has to go to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court makes an interpretation of it. If their interpretation is correct and they feel that it is valid, then they freaking have to make the interpretation in the Constitution according to constitutional law. After that, if freaking Congress feels fit to create that law that says freaking either homosexuals can or cannot be in the military, then they can create that freaking law. Okay? But they have to go through that process in order to do it. After that's done, then it's up to the executive branch, which is the freaking president and his cabinet, to freaking enforce that law through the Department of Justice.
the problem is they've got a whole bunch of bad actors in Congress, in the Department of Justice, bought off by people like Soros, and the WEF even openly bragged about it, that they owned like most of Congress. So now the system is basically non-functional because it's not going through a good faith system. It's being bought off. And that's why I think the president, correct me if I'm wrong, has the power to do the executive actions to be able to correct stuff like that, isn't it?
And right now, timing is important. You got to understand that Congress or the executive branch, which is the White House, and freaking Congress is all dominant Republican conservatives.
Mm.
You're muted, Mark, I believe.
Am I?
Oh wait, okay, never mind. I was on the stream. But I seen your mouth. But you got to realize that they have a certain amount of time where they need to get this stuff passed, or they need
Totally.
You know what I mean?
You didn't see the Democrats holding back, right? Like, as soon as they had the power, they were just going for it, whereas the Republicans tend to drag their feet for a while for some reason.
Trump is an idiot when it comes to that shit, because he turned around, he got in on his first term, and he started saying, well, forgive and forget. And this is after everybody kept saying, fucking lock her up. And I was one of people that was saying
arguably Trump in his first term was unprepared for realism. He was
unprepared for the
being an exercise for him.
He was a cat that walked into a tiger match, and I think he's a lot more wise this time. But the problem is he's let them water down his power by taking out people like what's his name, the guy that was going to be the head of the Department of Justice, Mark. The guy, they basically said, he had a sex scandal where he was like tangentially involved, but not really, and then he just quit. and then
Yeah.
they put in Pam Bondi, which is just completely fucking retarded. She hasn't been able to pull off anything, and Trump keeps like congratulating her when she hasn't done anything. What's his name?
This
Gonna
goes
annoy me
back
now.
to the hot chick thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that
Well, he's got a bunch of daughters, and I think he sees her as like a daughter almost, or
no,
something. I don't know.
that's
I
not.
mean, a good thing in UK that we occasionally have cabinet reshuffles. In fact, I'm expecting a cabinet reshuffle in the next couple of months after after yesterday's local elections. But in the US, it's these sort of cabinet reshuffles are not all that common.
In the U.S., yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the reason why is because they have to work around that. Now, people do their terms, and then they have a certain amount of terms they can do. So what they do is they take a break and they switch to another freaking political seat. Okay, so the thing of it is you can actually own more than one house. All right, so if you go outside of a district and you buy a house outside of a district, you can wait a year and then go into that district and run for office.
Same in this country. You have local elections. Not sure about the data for yesterday's, but in the past you've had local elections where the candidate didn't even come from that area. So,
Okay, so
The guy's name is Matt Gaetz. Yeah, have you heard him speak before, Matt Gaetz?
no, I've never had a chance to.
Oh man, he is awesome. He was like, he's a weapon, man. He calls it like it is. I'm sure you've seen his face before. This guy.
I'm just
He just like calls them out hard, man. He would have been the best for the job by far, and I'm so disappointed he quit. He would have had all the Epstein files on
He was representative for Florida First Congress.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Guides.
they accused him of child sex trafficking and statutory rape, apparently, which was total bullcrap. And he just didn't want the heat on Trump because he wasn't elected yet, and so he quit.
Yeah.
Were those allegations brought out in the court
No,
case?
it was never tried or anything like that.
Yeah, that's what's so suspicious about it. You know what I mean? Because like they made the
it's just an allegation, right? They can just throw any allegation at you, and it looks bad in the media. You know what I mean?
Yep. And that's what it's turned into. Like nobody's actually saying, "Freaking, let's take this to court." You know what I mean? It's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna run and hide, dude, because I don't want my name freaking drug through the mud."
That's why the media is the greatest weapon in the U.S. and it can destroy anyone without a trial, without a jury, without anything.
Okay, so
That's true throughout the world. The BBC, Sky.
But my point was, in his first term, he did poorly because he surrounded himself with people that weren't loyal, that weren't on his side, all sorts of stuff like that. And by letting stuff like this happen, he's letting the opposition know that all they have to do to like get him to do what they want is to accuse people of things, a bit of blackmail here and there, but he has gotten better though. He's just fired his head of was it the military? He fired the head of the military, and he's just fired that guy who invited the newspaper guy into the Signal chat just the other day. He fired him as well.